So welcome to Thursday on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your host, Yeka, and this week we have been talking about pagan symbols in mainstream media, and specifically in a recent video by Kesha. So I'm going to go ahead, comments posted below, but I'm going to read it for you. And it's from TheWitchboycolumbus. I was interested on the thoughts for the channel about Kesha's video, Die Young. In this video, there's a lot of symbols and usage of items that we, witches and pagans, use in our practice. I personally feel it kind of sets our movement back a little. The comments on the video are crazy right now. Check it out. There's the link here. Watching the video more, there's a lot of Illuminati visuals, as well as pentagrams, inverted crosses, pyramids, tarot, or card reading. Now, not just this video, but when any mainstream media uses items like these in a negative way to mean evil, I personally feel like it constantly sets every non-Christian group backwards in acceptance. I just wonder how everyone else feels. So first off, I had never seen this video. I had heard it on the radio quite a bit. So went and checked it out, and if you haven't watched it already, it's just symbols flashing behind her. I don't really understand what it has to do with the lyrics of the song. Not that they're very complex lyrics. So I looked up the making of video, which also had very little substance. It was very similar to the video in that it was just lots of flashy images and a lot of exposure. But there was a couple moments when Kesha was actually talking, and she said that she thought of, and I'm paraphrasing here, herself and her fans as like a cult. And that is what she was going for in this video, leaving aside whether she actually had anything to do with the creation of the video, in terms of the design of it. So I thought that was really interesting, because that sort of indicated to me that these symbols are ones that she would relate with cult, the ones that would bring to mind the kind of cult feel. My personal take on the marketing strategy for her is to go for the kind of preteen, teen audience that really wants to rebel. It seems like whatever, in the other videos I've watched of her, she's trying to do whatever gets the most response and disapproval. I think some of the other hosts talked about this, the disapproval from society or from their parents. So that's why I think she went for, or her marketing managers went for the cult idea, or for the let's come up with things that the media sees as evil. Which brings us back to this week's topic about symbols that we use being represented as evil. So there's so much to this topic, I wasn't really even sure where to begin. So one thing I did was I actually looked up specifically the pentagram, because that's one that many pagans use. We use in our practice, and some sort of as an identification. I mean, I sometimes wear a pentagram. I don't use it in my practice, I just like it as a symbol of the whole group or subculture or belief systems. But it's actually a very ancient symbol. It's been used by a lot of different groups, and I will leave you to do the main research on your own, but just superficially some of the things I found. It was used back in Sumer, 5,000 years ago. The Pythagoreans used it. It's been used in Europe quite a bit in the occult scene, and more recently we've been using it. So the symbol isn't just one thing. It's different things to different people, and that's one of the things about symbols, is that they aren't, a symbol isn't just one thing, usually. I'm sure someone could come up with an exception to that. So I don't feel like I have ownership of this symbol. I think that probably you know, I appropriated it and then someone else appropriated it from someone. So I think that's important to keep in mind. But that being said, it is something that we use to represent us. And the media often misrepresents us. But I'd like to say that we are not the only group that that happens to. That happens to a lot of groups. So I don't take it personally. I mean, I don't think that my take on that video, kind of going back, was that it was not an attack on us. It was, let me find whatever's going to get the most reaction. Does it communicate a different idea than many of us would like to communicate? If that idea is that we'd like to say, we're normal, we're legitimate, we're not evil, whatever evil is, then yeah, because it's reinforcing that pattern of it being represented as a bad thing, as an evil thing. So I don't necessarily like it very much, but I don't want to give it my energy. I'm not going to worry about it being that there she is, or her publishers are using that symbol in a bad way. I'm going to use it in the way that I use it, and I'm going to focus on the things that to me are more important. It's not really a battle that I want to fight. If it's a battle that you want to fight, then go for it. My advice would be not to get into flaming wars about it, but, you know, maybe create public awareness in a way that doesn't give them power. And I don't remember which host was talking about this earlier this week, but by commenting on the video, that's giving them power in a lot of ways, because it's bringing that attention back. So we're actually kind of contributing to that in a way, and I'm not sure quite how I feel about that, but I like that we're talking about it. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I think that just about sums up the things I wanted to try and tackle in this video. If any of you have resources that you want to share about the history of certain symbols, that would be really interesting. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay.